Oh, alive. Welcome back, once and future viewers, to Monsters Among Men. I am the DM and the man without a plan, Noah. This is our regularly running zombie campaign. It is Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition, albeit with some heavy homebrew thrown in. So if you've played this system before and we start talking about stuff you don't understand, don't worry about it. We tend to focus mostly on story and roleplay in this game anyway. So honestly, even if you don't know the rules, don't worry about it. Though they are free online if you're interested. I'm going to toss it over to Mackenzie, who is the man who makes the majority of this magic happen.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Mackenzie. I'm the one who plays Richard, and I'm the one who also does the art assets for this stream. The maps on the tables that you'll find were done by me. The overlay, our little icons here. Brian, the man of the voice. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Brian. I'm the other guy.
Okay. Brian's the one who did our intro, our world intro, which had also my artwork over front of it.
Yeah, the Richard voice was really difficult, but I think I nailed it at the end.
Shut up. That said, Brian, do you want to hit us into that sweet recap?
Absolutely. So, last session, otherwise affectionately known as the John episode, was started off with Richard and Taylor leaving on their expedition, or having left on their expedition to retrieve the VW bug that we absolutely, definitely stashed exactly when we know where it is, like a squirrel with a stash of acorns. John gathers the farm for a meeting to plan and talk about the future, going to individuals, trying to particularly drum up support and get people to
stick around.
Yeah. Oh, and I should also mention that the episode before that ended with the hanging judge reveal from Noah, and began with said hanging judge speaking to Richard and basically warning him in his dream, hey, you keep sticking your nose in our business, and well, people you love are going to suffer the consequences for that. Which Richard rebutted, that doesn't sound a whole lot like justice, and the judge was like, I make the justice, I am the law. All Judge
Dredd
Dredd
style. And then I put a
style.
hook through his face.
Well, tried to anyway, and I think he kind of
succeeded,
and he laughed
just kept
it off.
Talking.
Yeah. But afterwards, yes, as we panned back, John was gathering individuals to attend this meeting, which there was a large bonfire and nearly 500-ish people gathered around. All the notable people gathered near the center. There were concerns raised particularly about housing and food, and John, with Georgie's help, convinced nearly the entire farm to stick around. And through a series of impassioned speeches that maybe dragged on a little bit, eventually winds down, and Sid, having heard all this from a ways off, who had been planning to leave, decided to stick around, still bitter about Taylor, but amenable to helping the farm. Afterwards, John spoke with Georgie about his plans for a potential information network, and Georgie suggested making a patsy in case the network ever came to light, and John seemed to have someone in mind specifically. The end of the session panned back to Taylor and Richard, with Taylor saying that she felt like they were being watched, and upon investigation they realized there was in fact an acolyte nearby, and we were unsure of their intentions, as that's where the Grand Elder son of a bitch ended the session.
To clarify what an acolyte is, they are a gene of zombies, or at least as far as we know, some form of zombie, that the party has interacted with many times. One of our previous party members was an acolyte named Tulsa, who followed us claiming we were chosen, meant to change the world. And while he was friendly, a lot of our other interaction with acolytes have been not so friendly. And Richard still has a bit of a sore spot at the death of Tulsa, so we're going to see how this pans out.
And that is a pretty good recap. John, you can go ahead and take your hero point. For doing so, there was one detail in your conversation with Georgie that you forgot to mention. Specifically, that there is someone you're going to want to see for technical help on the infrastructure.
Was
That's
it Crazy
right.
Gary or something?
Oh, hang on. Give me 3 seconds. Nope, can't remember. Sorry.
You were told to go see Crazy Harold.
Harold. That's the
Smack
one.
I was
dab
on
in
the
middle-
right.
You were. I actually thought it was that for a second. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't name it.
I mean, Gare, hair, like I was in the realm. After editing and hearing the line at least 5 times, I should have remembered.
Like an iron sieve. Just goes right through.
But yeah, smack dab in the middle of Nebraska, we're going to turn to Richard, as there are currently other bigger issues that you guys are dealing with, and I will once again pull up the image of this lovely individual as you and Taylor kind of starting the day out. The sun is beginning to rise. You can feel the heat starting to increase. It's incredibly humid air, this thick fog all around. In these old abandoned roadways of the old world, various cars rusting around, buildings that have long ago been looted and partially dismantled. And out in front of you, once again, this tall creature, almost 7 feet tall, covered in these black robes that some contain fresh blood stains, some blood stains so old that they are rust-colored and almost ground into this cloth. And these bloody bandages wrapped around its face, so only one eye is showing. And
If I remember correctly, we were hiding in the tree line.
you were currently hiding in the tree line.
I'm
Hiding
gonna
from
take
an acolyte.
a wild guess, knowing what we know. Does this thing seem to have immediately taken notice of us as we have drawn closer?
Give me perception.
Yes, let me do that. That's going to be a 15.
15. As you take a look around, from what you can tell, not immediately, and with a 15, I will say, it seems to be definitely searching for something, but not at all around the area you're at. It seems to be looking more toward either side of the road, scanning back and forth as if it's almost expecting something or someone.
I will... I mean, not wanting to damage his shirt if this does turn into a scuffle, Richard will quickly take it off and tie it around his waist. It's my good talking boy clothes. I can't ruin these. Oh, it's +1 to persuasion to talk the acolyte to not murdering me. Hell yeah, let's go. No, but he
Somehow.
will ready himself to some degree, but I think I'm going to stay in the tree line and watch him.
Okay.
See,
You are-
I want to see if this thing is in any way looking for us, or if maybe anything else comes from the woodworks.
Now, I presume you want to do this while you're hidden, correct?
Yeah, I am currently stealthing still.
Would you like to re-roll that stealth check?
I don't want to reroll the stealth check. The last one I got was really good.
Well, let me rephrase. Re-roll the stealth check.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to spend a hero point real fast.
Are you sure? I mean, it's a nat 1. That's
It's
a pretty
only a
good
natty
roll.
1.
It only goes upward from here.
Okay. That is up.
9. Well, that is under 11, so you get plus 10.
Yeah,
Very
so that's
good
going to
roll.
be a 31.
31. That's pretty solid. Okay. All
I
right.
know this thing has really good eyesight, though, so it could still spot me potentially.
Oh, among other senses.
If I just put this to a blind roll.
Oh, Taylor, you're bombing this for us.
Excuse you. I want you to know. She rolled a 3 to get that number.
She did roll a 3 and got a 17, yes. Noah's doing a fucking blind perception.
You don't know that's what I rolled. Yeah, it could be, you know.
He could be rolling lore Greek mythology.
Yeah, I was about to try to give another skill, but I couldn't even think of a believable lie. As you are currently looking around, there is a pause as beneath you can hear ever so silently just the most minuscule of movements as Taylor, also with you, crouches down lower into the shrubbery and he turns and looks at her, and then there's a long moment. He directly stares, sheathes one of these two bloody machetes to his side, takes a single finger, puts it up where his lips would be in a shushing motion, and then moving backwards, eyes still on the road, goes off of the roadway and crawls down and ducks low into a ditch, also stealthing himself.
Watching him, do I at least see where he goes? Like, can I still see him as he goes into a stealth?
Give me perception.
Oh, fuck. It's gonna be a 15.
You can see the general area. Looking at the road, it goes straight for a while, and then it does this large bend left. And around the bend is where it kind of fades into the fog. He seems to crawl down somewhere towards the bend, though between the branches of the trees and the fog, you're not 100% sure if you could locate him specifically from where you're at right now.
I even say he has concealment.
Could say that.
Richard, cursing under his breath, will drop down from the tree line into the shrubs below and then very quietly step out into the middle of the road.
You step out into the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Of all the things I expect you to do, that was not one of them.
I can't, because if we're all in the fucking tree line, the Acolyte is more likely to see us than we see him. I'm gonna come to a place where he can't hide. No. As a speeding car comes down the road from behind.
The Acolyte shushes you guys and then stealths himself. And you're all like, oh, that must mean coming to the middle of the road.
Well, the thing is, though, he looked at Taylor, he didn't look at Richard. I don't know what he saw.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You have the extended scent, right?
Yes, I've got perception via scent.
Give me one more perception roll. I will give you a +5 to this perception.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna add that. Good news, that one undoes that +5. I'm gonna let it go.
You gotta take a 4, are we?
If I have to flip out of the way of this shit, I'd rather be able to have my dice for the saving throw that I'm about to take.
This is... Oh, boy. Okay, so as you are standing out in the middle of the road, kind of take a look around, focusing a lot on that large bend where you saw the Acolyte disappear from. You don't notice anything for a long while until there is a long scraping sound, like the sound of bone on pavement. All of a sudden, there is a feeling of being watched. And not just one pair of eyes, multiple pairs of eyes. And as it finally dawns in on you, turn around and you see from behind you, in these silhouetted in the fog, about 4 tall creatures.
Oh, shit.
Long claws, sharp teeth. Creatures you definitely know as ghouls.
Oh,
as
boy.
The one in front stops and proceeds to start smelling the air.
I mean, have they very clearly already they've already smelled me. Like, there's no way they haven't. The spines come out, small bony protrusions ripping from shoulder and arm, as he just turns to face them, kind of backpedaling a little bit, as I do also take glances around me to make sure I'm not being surrounded by any others.
Give me perception, because you've been doing so well at these.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's not a nat 1.
It's not that one.
As far as you can tell, no. You can't even see that one Acolyte you were so worried about.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us for the start of this session. I'll be prepping a new character in a moment. I mean, like, I failed the perception. The most I can do is kind of wait. They're gonna spot me. There's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, they've already spotted you.
Yeah.
They definitely see you there. And as you... So... I just want to clarify, the plan is to just face them down here and now.
I mean, I don't even know where Taylor is right now, because I've fucking been botching my perception rolls, and she wouldn't have come up at any point during them.
What used
Title
to be
episode, Richard fucking dies.
What was meant to be set dressing is now going to be turning into a combat encounter. Oh my gosh. Like, I get it, but like, how very Richard...
Okay, the Acolyte spotted us. It ducked into cover where I know I will never be able to track this thing.
No, 100. Like I said, I get it. Losing an acolyte is the spider that you spotted and then it disappeared.
Except the spider has a gun.
Except the spider has a gun.
Yeah.
It is not good.
That is then going to bring us to the battle as these ghouls are stopping. As you have kind of know about ghouls at this point, they do follow an alpha, a pack leader. Is very clearly this one in front.
Yeah.
And top of the round with Taylor.
Is it safe to say that because I kind of saw them and was stancing up, I'm maybe in the defend action?
If you want to give them an action before they start this combat.
I mean, yeah, they were sniffing around and stuff.
So you want to be in the defend action?
Yeah, I'd like to be in the defend action on this one.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to give them each one action real quick. As the pack leader proceeds to snarl at you.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay. You can see the others begin to sniff around.
That was almost a 20 and I got real scared for a moment.
As
This preemptive.
the focus is definitely on you, but as the others take a second to try to figure out what the heck is going on here. What is this weird human doing in the middle of the road? Why is he not scared?
Why is this spiky?
Yeah, and why is he spiky? Is this maybe something more nefarious? As Taylor proceeds to hide in place. Brings it to the pack leader pool. As he rushes up, leaps over these cars in one large bound, dives down at you. These long, almost foot-long claws peeling out of his skin. Razor-sharp talons first. One.
I do get to roll the dodge regardless, because I could botch this potentially. No, as I do definitely step out of the way.
As he jumps past you. Seems like his excitement for bloodlust has kind of overridden his good senses as he just leaps into the fray, ready to tear you apart.
Would you say his claws count as a weapon? Just like how my spines are removable, would you say this is something I could potentially break and damage?
Yes, at a higher DC.
That's fine. A weapon break automatically triggers with the dodge action.
Okay.
As I am going to step aside, my own spined arm swinging in response, as I'm going to try and take this fucker's hand.
His claws, at least.
Yes.
Oh.
That's going to crit.
Whoa.
So that is going to be a 28 to resist.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's not listing that for the resist that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I don't even dent it.
Question, how do you try to rip these claws out of the school?
I think Richard just goes for the tried and true going to sever these fingers. And I think spine meets bone, and we just kind of clash for a moment.
Okay. And as you rip in, try to tear them out of the sockets, they feel almost as strong as iron as it hisses at you, withdraws its hand with a very strong yank back, one that almost takes you off your feet, and reels back as a second one moves to charge you, jumps up on these cars, and brings this large mouth of salivating teeth and a rotting mouth that attempts to bite down on your shoulder.
This one I do get to do still the dodge still. That just keeps going. As I do manage to ducking out of the way as I'm interlocked with these other set of claws. Starting to realize that I have bit off a little bit more than I can chew.
You don't say!
Interesting you say that, because it's school number 3's turn, who just proceeds to run past these cars. A blur of motion. One of these cloth hands comes out and attempts to just swipe across your torso.
Oh, fuck me. Gonna keep dodging. That does get the plus 10 to it, goes to a 28.
Okay.
Oh, the dodge action, I love you. I'm very scared right now.
That brings it to your turn.
Oh, fuck, it does loop around to my turn, huh? Oh, no. I think Richard just making sure to pull aggro. I'm going to, almost imitating their leaps, somersault out of them and spring up onto the top of this van. Yes, I'm going to continue this defend action because I don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm hoping something steps in here. I'm going to give it another round of dodges, and if shit doesn't go well, I'm going to just get out of there.
Okay. And as you somersault onto this van, the fourth ghoul once again sniffs the air and begins to wander off a bit. Distracted, but doesn't seem to quite hone in on anything yet.
Oh boy.
Keep it that way, please.
Brings it back to Taylor. I'm sorry, Taylor. I gotta make you roll it.
Boy, she about to put in the gumbo body, eh?
Sorry, what?
You heard him.
Is he having a stroke? What's happening here?
Sorry, I'm still in Louisiana, so you know.
Oh, that's fair.
As
I always forget that exists.
as this alpha ghoul looks up at you, hisses, leaps up, lands on the car roof as well, and attempts to bring down his claws straight onto your scalp.
Come on, Dodge. Keep it going. As shit, that is actually going to clip me.
That'll hit.
So that's going to be a DC 23 resistance.
Yep.
Hey, I'm going to spend a hero point.
That's probably a good idea. Not wanting a toughness save is probably not something you want to do. Just pro tips.
No.
I'm just gonna... That's a 19! Which that's gonna be a...
Fail by one.
Fail by 1, yeah. So just 1 damage on me.
One injury. Just one injury.
I'm gonna make sure to knock down that hero point off my character here.
1 and then a 2. Well,
I'm gonna sacrifice a 1d100 real quick. Hold on.
There you
It's average in the world of Call of Cthulhu.
go.
And as this thing rages to rake against your chest, it actually digs its claws into your flesh. It's not deep, but it stings like a bitch, and it draws fresh blood, and it gives an almost inhuman grin for a moment before there is a gigantic sound that almost sounds like what you would imagine the sun exploding.
Oh?
Now, congrats! He was unaware. So speaking of routine check, this counts as a crit.
Hell yeah. But also, oh no.
So first off, he's got a save
Oh,
versus
no.
a 29 damage.
Yes.
Oh no.
Is this the golden gun being Oh shit, that actually might...
As
that might down him, actually.
it doesn't down him, but he is now staggered.
One more shot like that and he'll be down.
29 minus 15?
It's 14.
Yes,
That is
no, you're right.
1 away from a
Fail by
fail by
three.
3.
Yeah,
One
that'd be
away
from a fail
just
by
taking
4.
him out right there. And then, after making this roll, the attacker immediately makes an opposed intimidation check against all non-friendly characters' will saves. So,
Oh, so that's a real special golden gun. Did she just
Oh,
do
yeah.
a ready to action?
yeah, she was gonna fire on the first ghoul that actually hit you. Okay, go ahead and crit that. Okay,
Natty 20s her intimidation check.
hang on. Let me get my pencil because I'm about to have to make some notes for this. All characters that... Okay. For each degree of failure on these will saves, all
There are status
D20
effects you
rolls...
can apply to these characters, by the way.
There are, but I'm not going to bother with that for a sec.
Fair enough.
Hang on. Heck.
On this impromptu combat map.
3. Yeah. Okay.
Impromptu. I photoshopped this, mind you.
Not the map, sorry, the impromptu encounter.
Yes.
So first off, because all ghouls were unaware of her, this is made at a -5 each. For each degree of failure they make, they have a -1 penalty to all d20 rolls made until the start of their next turn. So starting with the pack leader, that's a 9 versus a 28. That is a -4. Ghoul number 1 has a 10 versus a 28.
No four.
Pack leader has a -5. This guy has a -4. Ghoul number 2.
Okay, there we go.
This is a 17. This is 11, so he's got a -3. And then lastly, the one that was off by himself is a 17. That's a -4. As all these ghouls look incredibly startled, the one side of the pack leader's head just explodes, taking away the left eye socket and a good portion of the cranium. It is still standing up, but this part of the head is just gone. Blood and viscera are everywhere. The jaw is actually kind of hanging crooked from the fact that several of these tendons are just gone. The one remaining eye goes absolutely wide, and there is some terrified sounding clacking of the teeth as it proceeds to spin around, trying to find the source of this noise.
Brutal.
Unfortunately, though, they definitely know where Taylor is.
Yeah.
As the one moves up.
I am going to be interposing as I will shake free of this kind of lock, shoving past the ghoul staggered as I am going to leap after and land. If you actually want to scoot it back one. As Richard is going to leap between it and Taylor, bracing for the coming blow.
Oh, it's intense. It's
And
intense.
as you jump in front of it, you can see as it kind of attempts to reach forward, grab her forward, and then bite down on her jugular. It sees you, is startled for a moment, and readjusts to attempt the same attack on you.
Please, please, please dodge. Please, please, please dodge. I do dodge it. No, I don't. Shit.
I'm gonna say.
Oh,
So you
fuck.
want to save versus the damage first?
Yeah. Oh. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Just an injury?
So,
One injury.
yeah, just
Or is
one
it-
injury.
Or is it?
No, it's just one.
Just one injury.
one injury,
um,
but also dazed. I think.
I-
because the
Oh,
crit.
right, it did crit. Yes.
Wait, does crit enforce dazing?
Well,
No, but
you
it
failed by
has
two.
a plus
failed by
5
two.
to the damage because right on you.
That added it to the defense. It added it to the defense DC.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
I love
okay.
you, Foundry.
Yeah.
I love
don't
you.
worry.
You're awesome.
And now a fortitude save.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh.
Just barely. The
18.
lowest number you could roll.
Versus second lowest.
As it takes a bite. The spines obscure your neck enough that it doesn't manage to take a fatal amount of meat out of you. It still takes a good amount, and there is this blackened blood that runs through your veins absolutely everywhere. There's a good chunk of your shoulder now missing, and that hurt probably way worse than the claws. But hey, you're still alive. Let's see if Ghoul number 2 has anything to say about that. As he is going to run up to you, and seeing how effective that last one it was, going to attempt the same thing.
Yeah.
You look particularly tasty today, good sir.
Alright, I'm getting that dodge rolled out there. Oh, there's the nat 20.
Where were you earlier?
Unfortunately, I can't counterattack because my reaction just got used on defending Taylor.
You can't. As it attempts to bite down on you. This time you're a little bit more ready for it. Get some spines into the way, bringing it to your turn.
I think Richard wrenching this thing from his shoulder is going to scream an equally feral scream at these things. As I am going to maybe let someone else take the controls on this one. As I am going to go into Apex Predator, which does let me immediately use heal as a free action. Not even getting a heal up.
Oh no!
No.
No.
Uh-oh. Okay, I mean, once again, Richard committing to this and screaming furiously at this thing that has bit me is going to haul off and clobber the ghoul that did manage to land a bite on me.
Choo.
That is going to crit, so
Ow.
that is going to be, once again, the DC 28 on the save.
Ooh, if you go for that.
I can just click the toughness roll, and it'll auto-calculate that.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome.
So versus, yeah, it's showing the wrong. It's saying only 1 degree of failure versus a 28. That should be.
Well, it's thinking no, even versus a 25, that should be it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, because we do it a little bit. That's technically 1 degree.
Yeah,
It's-
that's fair.
It's not auto-adding the crit.
So 28. That's going to be 2 degrees,
It's going to be 2 degrees.
and
This
then
one is
I
dazed.
need it to roll the better of its strength or its dodge skill versus the attacking strength stat, which is going to be 23 because I rolled a crit on this.
Okay. So it's better of. I'm sorry. It's better of strength or what?
Strength or dodge.
Strength or dodge. Kick of the dodge.
That's better than a 23.
Cool. It does manage to avoid being locked in with Richard as he does rake his claws at this thing, at least catching it for 1 wound and stunning it.
Yeah. Which it seems equally stunned.
Yeah.
Pun not really intended. You see the sudden display of ferocity just shoved back in its face. It takes a pretty good beating there.
Ghoul picked a fight with a pseudo ghoul, motherfucker.
Actually, the condition is dazed.
So I killed John in another dimension. Unfortunately, that is the end of my turn, as I am now no longer in the dodge action, and I'm going to really hope that my heightened dodge that I suddenly have is going to carry through. Fuck.
I see.
I was just about to comment how the camera zoomed in a weird spot.
Hey, no, what's happening here?
I don't know.
And then some secret initiative.
Oh, I know what's happening. It's this school's turn. As this last school, it sees this fight going on, seems to barely register as it focuses in on Taylor.
I have my action. I am going to intercept. If you can scoot Taylor back 1.
Yep.
Richard senses on full alert, watching, almost eyes on the back of his head on this one.
You might have let little Richard out, but you still have a deal with him.
That's gonna miss.
Look at that. Auto-calculate. That's cool. Alright. Breaking it to Taylor.
I am going to call him Little Richard, by the way.
Little Richard. What a scam.
Who proceeds to very quickly put the gigantic golden gun into a back pocket, pulls out a regular 9mm pistol from her
Holster.
side. Yeah, her holster. Aims it at the one ghoul you just damaged, and fires.
Oh, there's 2 dice in that.
Why did it do that?
It's okay, they both missed.
Which the ghoul's head motion tracks with this pistol. Seems to understand what this implement is. Moves over to the side.
They're way too smart.
And as the pack leader kind of raises its head, growls at you, something appears from behind the car.
I don't like that he's listed as red. What's that mean, Noah?
I don't know. As he pulls up from behind the car, grabs onto the ghoul of what remains of his head, pulls it down by the spine, and screams into its face.
Oh, shit. Oh. Boy. Please be on my side. Please be on my side. Please be on my side.
I don't know.
What the ghoul doing?
What the ghoul doing?
You know, maybe ghouls, but at least it's not Forerunners.
I don't know.
At least it's not for regular zombies, but fast.
This thing now controlled, and it seems very calmly, very slowly, start making its way up towards the rest of you in the group. Brings it to this ghoul, who is stunned. So he only gets a move or a standard action, and he'll plop himself right there.
Oh, not friend, not friend.
Brings it to this ghoul, who's dazed and and only move up, and can't do anything else. Brings it to this ghoul, who looks a little upset at you, leaps over his two friends, bounds over the tree, lands next to you, Richard,
Yeah.
and attempts to rake another claw along your torso.
Oh, that's definitely hitting, and that's critting. Oh, these things have enhanced crits, too.
Well, you can hit that toughness roll. It'll automate, I think.
So,
Keep rolling that once!
the last hero point is going to be spent.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know how I'm rolling this many nat ones. This is
That's
rough.
Rough, yeah.
I'm pulling a John right now.
You sure are, but like with higher stakes.
Alright, we're gonna try that again. There we go. It should add the 24. Or so it's a 26.
Yeah, it didn't add plus 10. So,
You rolled a 14.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah. Oh wait, I did roll a 4. Oh shit. No, I didn't. Yes,
you
I
rolled a
did.
14.
I
plus
rolled a
2.
14. Yeah, 16. How much? What's the strength on this?
Oh, yeah. What's this?
It's a 29.
This is a effect 8 plus 5 for the crit for a total of 13 for a total DC of 28.
28. That's a fail by 3, I think. Yeah. Richard becomes staggered.
Boy, this is definitely not how I expected this to go.
No.
Well, you want the good news, Richard?
Sure.
It's your turn. Go show them what for.
Well, good news about that is the regeneration does kick in. And, God, I can't roll above.
My gosh, my dude.
Sorry, that's not what I meant to roll. Oh, there's the nat 20, you son of a bitch. I meant to set plus money 100, and I'm so mad right now.
No.
As
Roll a 3, and then you go to roll just an unrelated d20, and it rolls a 20.
Richard's going to snarl and kind of shove Taylor back as a sign for her to run, and I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay, interesting maneuver. Let's see if it pays off. This ghoul.
Wow, genuinely episode name, Richard fucking dies.
This ghoul seems particularly hungry. And it once again
interpose.
focuses in on Taylor.
If she could step back one as I do shove her out of the way. Seeming dazed, angry, and snarling, defending Taylor as best as I can. Dodge,
Guys,
please.
Would
Hold on.
Would you guys roll lower than a 16?
It's fine. Hold on.
Don't say that before you forget.
I did get a 25. I do dodge this.
Okay. Alright. Then it attempts to bite down on her arm. Misses.
Shh.
Goes straight through into thin air. Hey. Mackenzie.
Yeah, what's up?
You know how you occasionally have to roll saves to see if you get the smart choice?
Yeah. Please run, Taylor.
Apparently Taylor does. There is very visible hesitation as she kind of looks to you and the 4 ghouls and 1 acolyte, which does turn tail and run off the map.
Okay.
Then brings it to this thing. It continues to seem rather unbothered. Once again, grabs this ghoul by the back of the head, throws it down, and screams into its face. Oh, okay. You are not controlled, but you
Held?
are tranced.
Oh, that works.
Right, as he moves up to you, this ghoul is controlled.
Please hit the other one. You're not doing that. You're not hitting the other one. Not Fred. Not friend.
I never thought he was.
No.
As this last uncontrolled ghoul kind of looks around, rather confused, looks over to this one interloper who is not saying anything, is just breathing hard under these bloody bandages.
Wait, hold on. Out
Snarl.
of curiosity, the ghoul moved but didn't attack?
Yes, that is correct. That is what he spent his turn doing.
Look. Oh yeah, he's dazed. Well, he could have attacked me from where he was, couldn't he?
He could have, yes.
What the fuck?
Snarls attempts to throw a claw up at this interloper. He has... Is a 24, does it? I don't like that roll. He's going to use his hero point on that roll. Well, this is a Tulsa character sheet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Oh yeah, Tulsa had luck built in, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
As Bill proceeds to put a long slash through these black robes, you can now see the pale and strangely woven skin underneath, in which this creature seems completely unaffected as it continues to stare at you, breathing heavily. Richard?
Yeah. My turn?
Yeah, sure is.
Alright, healing stat. I really need you to, like, something.
Gosh, please. Better.
Oh, there we go. That brings me to a 20. That's 2 degrees of success. As the wounds, muscle around them do very visibly flex and clench, as it doesn't necessarily patch up, but it does, however, stop, like, seeming as gaping. It almost clamps itself shut. As I gotta make a will save to see what I fucking do in this situation. Cool. That is very fortunate and just barely going to pass. As I come out of this combat high, burying down this rage and going, no, this is not something we can fight, we gotta go. And I am also going to turn tail and leap away, just getting out of here, sprinting after Taylor.
Okay. All right. And considering that then does bring you off the map, and I have to do, once again, improvised...
Chase scene! Yay!
Tell you what, we're going to make this a skill challenge between you and Taylor and the ghouls. As you proceed to leap out of this combat, you hear several feral screams behind you. The ghouls do not seem happy. You start crashing through the trees.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Remind me, how do you get back to normal out of Alpha Predator mode?
So I have to do a will save to shut out of it. It's a DC 15. I barely pulled out of it.
Okay, all right. And you start to catch up towards Taylor, who has not made a whole lot of ground, is currently running. She does see you crash through the trees. There's a sigh of relief on her face, and then concern as she notices more of this black hair. And then another roar as that turns to terror as she nods, and the two of you proceed to start crashing. There is a paved road off to your left. It is mostly clear, but every so often there is a clog of cars and whatnot. Off to the one side where you're currently running, there's a collection of trees, slow hills, a lot of ditches. Every so often a scattered and ruined building, and the crashing of sounds behind you as ghouls and an acolyte are chasing after you in this footrest of run or hide. Tell me, good sir, how do you propose you get out of this situation?
I mean, I for one, I definitely, as soon as I'm like crashing and landing and I'm seeing Taylor isn't making a lot of progress, I kind of sling her, I scoop her up. I pick her up, almost in a Princess Carrie, yeah. And I think I just fucking begin leaping and bounding, trying to clear these cars and trees as fast as possible.
Noah's line there had real barter for your life energy right there.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess it would be in acrobatics.
I'll take acrobatics if you want to give me that roll.
Not particularly after the bullshit I've been very frequently dealt over and over and over. Acrobatics, please. It's going to be a 19. Not my worst, not my best.
There we go.
Look, to say double run action, I have about 120 feet of movement I can go.
sure do. And that would be great if you weren't being chased by ghouls and an acolyte,
Yeah.
as you are making somewhat good progress, but it is a little difficult. As I said before, there is these kind of sloping ditches everywhere. There is swampy marshland and trees. Not to mention, every so often, there's a collection of these cars that are kind of off to the side. You have to take these moments to kind of calculate, make sure you don't stick your ankle in something and twist it, or crash headlong into something and drop Taylor. And you can see that the ghouls are very slowly beginning to make progress.
Yeah. Shit.
As Taylor.
I if anything, like, if she has her eyes going for her, something she can point out for me to dive into and get a good hide.
She's kind of doing her best to stay upright in this precarious carrying position. There's a moment where she kind of looks, glances around as listen, and she leans over and whispers in your ear, and there's two groups of them. One's chasing the other.
What?
As she,
What do you mean there's two of them?
I mean, as she kind of gestures back to where you can hear the crashing, and one of those is behind the other, and they're just cut that way, and the other group went that way. So I'm pretty sure one's after us, and one is after the other group.
This is weird.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I mean, I think as I do hear a chase going on and a potential scuffle, I hear them behind me, but I don't see them, right?
You can start to see them. Every so often they appear from behind the trees or clamber over a car. You're currently just making enough progress that it is only the occasional glimpse.
I think is this looking back to me to make a decision here?
Oh yeah. That's, I mean, you could stop if you want.
No.
Smell the flowers.
I'd like to look into maybe somewhere to duck out of the way and hide. As we can hide by ghouls. If I can find somewhere, maybe across the river, that can at least shake any foot scent.
Maybe the predator thing with mud.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to. Every time I kind of come above this tree line, I'd look to maybe try and spot somewhere I can duck into, and if I see it, I'm gonna dive for it.
That sounds like a perception check, unless you'd like to make an argument for a different skill.
I think I'd like to just go directly into the stealth and just hope it pans out, or I just kind of dive for the nearest alcove I find, hoping they maybe shoot me.
I'll let you attempt it.
Yeah. Somebody down woods.
Brother man.
Mackenzie, there are other numbers on the die.
Other numbers but one.
Hey, so
Oh no.
sorry to the summer friends.
Well,
My
here's the
my
thing.
ass is
I'm gonna let you know, because
Yeah.
this is life or death. So this is not necessarily a extra effort abuse that would affect the fade as it normally
okay. This
I
might
am
be
gonna
a
let you
slow me
know.
down level.
This would put you at half speed, which I will translate to upping your DC for these skill checks.
I gotta. Hey, it's really bad, but the thing is, though, I'm about to be in combat again, potentially.
Now, hypothetically, could one make an argument for the recover action that we talked about a while back? You would basically lose a round of doing
I
stuff.
mean, sure, if he wants to spend 6 seconds while they catch up.
Yeah, that's
No,
the thing.
No, not right now. Yeah, no, we're gonna take that reroll. Adding +10 to the... I
Whoa.
wanna fucking die. It's a 24.
My gosh. You rolled
Let's see.
a 1 again. Bro.
Is this just something you feel the need to do because Colin's not here?
No. No, it's good. So, there we go. That's my new number, which is at least somewhat successful, hopefully.
My gosh.
I'm
My
relaunching
God.
character here, just hoping.
refresh your whole page,
I'm
delete your
refreshing the whole
cookies,
page.
delete your
Can I get
cache.
dragged back into the chase scene?
Okay. As you jump into a thicker bundle of trees, kind of collide into this swampy section of water and submerge into it for a brief second. Not at all a pleasant experience, by the way, because when you try to cover your scent track, oh yeah, it definitely smells. Definitely would cover up a scent track.
Yeah.
And come back out, start to kind of circle around. There is a brief moment where you can tell that the ghouls that are immediately chasing you do get confused, kind of look around before one of them seems to catch you between the leaves, shouts, chases on again, but you have made a small amount of ground back up. Okay. You can't roll, but Taylor sure can.
Oh, please, my girl.
Don't bully me.
Alright. And as you are doing this, right as this one sees you and shouts, Taylor kind of leans down, holds onto the wounded section of your neck, which hurts real bad, but grabs a rock, tosses it a good 10-15 feet the other direction, which splashes. Another one notices it, shouts, and they seem to actually, for a moment, begin arguing with each other, snarling and pushing, allowing you to gain even more ground before the snapping of twigs and leaves begins up again.
Thank you, Taylor, for rolling above a 10. Which is really what I just need for anything to work for me at this point. That's the hurtful part. I could do this. I should be fine.
You should be.
Yeah.
But you are fine-er, but the footsteps have begun again. They seem to have resolved this dispute. They're further away now, but they're still coming after you.
I don't want to keep leaning into stealth, but I do have something that might... Can I follow this river? And once again, knowing that this river does at least help shake the scent, and as they have bickered, I managed to sneak away a bit. Could I maybe continue to follow this river, letting it help maybe direct my escape as they thought I might have crossed it?
Sounds a bit like a survival check.
That's what I was going to ask. Can I do a survival on this one?
I'll let you do a survival on this
Maybe
one.
you should roll radio so you can roll well.
19 is still something. What would my radio roll be? Hold on, I'm curious now.
Watch the net 20.
No,
Okay,
it's
never mind.
fine.
Okay, alright.
You truly
Shut up,
haven't
Ryan.
been abandoned by the dice gods if your radio
I-
rolls are beginning to suck.
That's the litmus test.
Roll for radio. Why am I rolling 1d100s? Why have I abandoned the old gods? Yeah, no, as I do see them arguing, I almost kind of doing, instead of horizontal leaps, almost horizontal dives as I kind of let it carry me through the river a little bit between my leaps. Once again, trying to keep low now and hopefully losing them down this river path.
Okay. Alright. And as you keep low, it seems to work almost for a little bit. As they begin to gradually trail off to your left, you can hear them starting to lose the path. Before all of a sudden, there's a sudden explosion and flurry of activity as this one acolyte comes just leaping over the hill in mid-grapple with the ghoul to proceed to kind of fall over as you see one of these ghouls that aren't under his control hiss at him as the acolyte slowly forces his arms apart before quickly letting go, grabbing under his shirt, pulling out a few black vials of something, turning to look at you for a few moments, which the other ghoul sees you and yells, and that seems to correct the course of the other ones as they are now chasing and closing in, and they sound a bit closer this time again.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
wait a minute. Taylor,
hold
no.
up. Wait a minute.
Taylor, that's not good.
She fucked that roll.
As Taylor also becomes incredibly interested, turns to look, and there's a question on her lips before she holds on too hard to this injured muscle. There is a spasm of pain, and this, combined with stepping on a particularly slip part of rock, causes you to fall and tumble over. You do manage to grab her, scoop her off the ground, and there is no immediate injury, but this is precious seconds that you cannot afford to lose. The ghouls are closer. You can begin to see these glimpses of pale, dead flesh and sharp teeth between the leaves now. Richard?
I think actually as we stumble and kind of fall back into the river between leaps, I am going to go for another stealth check as I'm going to try and just submerge, kind of covering her mouth to make sure she has gathered a breath and is not about to get a mouthful of water. I'm going to just pull us under and try and stealth.
Okay. Go ahead, give me that roll.
Please, anything.
That's not a 1.
It's all bad, no. I can't roll above a 10.
Oh,
Good
no.
news is this tragedy might get additionally funny if this keeps up. But
Uh-oh. Why do you mean funny?
What do you mean tragedy?
Oh, the tragedy is Richard, Ed, or Taylor die, and John never sees them again.
John's just gonna be that kid. Yeah, he went out to get the car. He went around back to get the car, and it's been a few days now. I don't think Dad's coming back.
Went out for milk. Murdered in the parking lot.
Taylor's oldest time.
Oh boy.
Hang on.
Richard is bombing these. There's no...
As you proceed to dive down into the water, there's a few moments of glimpsing as you see this acolyte take this machete, behead the ghoul, dig into the skull, and start digging around in the brain matter before he kind of points to this one ghoul, the pack leader that still has half of its head missing, and then one eye kind of looks around the river for a few moments before the acolyte shouts something you don't understand, points again, it seems to see you, and this ghoul pack now seeming to almost reconvene into a single unit as the pack leader points towards the two of you and begins running. And they are now making a bit more ground as you have had to fight against the current of the river. Let's see if Taylor has anything. No? Okay.
There we go.
Please, Taylor, drag us under. Drag us under properly.
As
Stop grabbing my wound.
Taylor takes a big breath of air before she dives under, grabs the back of the collar of your shirt, drags you under further, and starts to head further on down the river. Takes you actually quite a bit before the two of you have to the surface for oxygen. You've made a good, decent amount of ground now. You can tell that you're getting closer and closer to just straight marshlands, where these ghouls are going to have a lot harder time tracking you. You are almost out of the woods, but they do still see you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know
Don't do my boy like this.
what this would fall on. This might come out as a stealth roll on my end. As we resurface and are coming into these marshy areas, as I am going to running into the tree line, I'm gonna very awkwardly in the grip, almost kind of having to rip it off of myself. I'm going to pull the backpack from my person, and Noah, if maybe I could get some bonuses, I'm gonna sacrifice the gear. I'm gonna sacrifice my supplies in this backpack I've been carrying for a long time, and I'm gonna hurl this thing as hard as I can into the woods in the opposite direction.
You're gonna sacrifice your supplies.
I'm going
You
to
still
sacrifice.
have a couple days hike in front of you.
Yeah.
Bold.
Bold strategy.
Hoping that Noah, you might reward me in some manner on this one.
Remind me, how much bulk of supplies are you carrying at the moment?
I am carrying currently. Actually, I have my little inventory button right here. I've currently 14 out of 20 bulk. I basically got remaining 9 days worth of food and water.
14 out of 20 bulk.
Yeah.
I am gonna go ahead and give you a... You're really willing to do this. I will give you a plus 28 to this roll.
May I?
2 points for every point of bulk you are just throwing away to never be seen again.
Oh, and a very shitty med kit.
May I pause it for a hero point, maybe?
No, I'm taking the plus 20 or plus 28 on this one. So 17 plus 28 is going to go all the way up to 40? No,
45.
45. As Richard, realizing that I am being weighed down, I cannot carry Taylor and this backpack and run while injured, I fucking rip this thing from my shoulder and just heave and hurl it. The extra strength from my infection causing my arm to strain as this thing just soars through the air in the other direction. All the ghouls see is an outline soaring through the air that smells very heavily like Richard, as this is the backpack I've had since the beginning.
Oh yeah, and they definitely notice it. Their eyes immediately start tracking this thing. You can hear them beginning to smell and inhale as they watch it fall, lands in a small puddle. They begin to swarm it, immediately rip it to shreds, start to look through, and they grab some of these cans, force them open with these long claws. You can see a few of the cans that contain chili or spam or other such meats. They begin to devour, and as the two of you proceed to get up out of the river, take a few runs out into this foggy marshland, there is a brief moment where you look behind you. The one acolyte moves up to the last undamaged ghoul, the one ghoul you know is not currently under his sway, casually beheads it, leaving only the other two damaged ghouls that seem to be under his control. Watches them devour this feast, looks to the vials in his hand, then turns and watches you, and even from this distance there's a few moments where you feel like you can hear this breathing as this single glassy eye watches you before you and Taylor disappear into the fog and into relative safety. A lot more safe than whatever the hell that was you just left.
I've realized everything else that might have gone in that backpack is also there goes Richard's radio. Taylor has one. I know she has one. However, you don't get to sigh at me, Brian. That was four ghouls and an acolyte.
No. Like, I get you, but
It went so wrong.
dang, dude.
As I don't think Richard stops running, even when we're clear. Richard just keeps going. I won't lie, Noah. I think the first half of the day, while injured, Richard is going to fucking redline.
You know what? That's very fair. And we'll hold on to that thought. As John.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful, stress-free day.
it is
It's one of those.
wonderful.
It's
We
one
just
of
had
those wonderful days where you just wake up and feel good to be alive.
Just had a fantastic bonfire meeting last night.
You did. You
There's
did.
spirits are high, everyone, I'm sure, like, John is just greeting everyone with a hey, good morning, you ready to do this? Like, let's make this farm, let's make this yours.
As the majority of the people that wake up are definitely in much, much higher spirits. Everyone greets you. There's a lot more cheerful talking. You could see people starting to pitch in and actually do chores around the place. There is an elation of hope. And even as the noonday sun continues to climb a little bit higher, bring a little bit more heat, a little bit more mugginess, it doesn't seem to penetrate this beautiful sunny day on this farm, which for just one of those, it's rare, but this is one of those brief seconds in the wasteland where it feels like all your troubles are actually behind, if only for a few minutes.
Oh, it's to the east, don't worry.
Oh my gosh.
Richard's just grabbing the car. Nothing to worry about there.
I mean, at some point, I think as we're running, and as Richard is basically holding, at this point, Taylor over his shoulder for better leaps, we'll tell her to grab the radio and call John whenever you want that to kick in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But first, John, what are you doing on this wonderful day?
The plan is we really need... Yeah, it was houses. We are focused on building shelters for everybody.
Okay.
They may not be, like comfortable, but I was gonna say I see the possible additions that we can add a cabin, but could we possibly make more bunkhouses?
You can make more bunkhouses if you so wish.
Gotcha.
If you want to go ahead and spend one of your 2 chunks of the day with the build activity,
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I am going to go ahead and give you a plus 18 on this
I
roll.
believe Harry is also helping us with this one, right? Is that part of this?
Oh, right. I'll give you a plus 23 because I think it's based off stamina, if I remember correctly.
Oh. So I'm rolling stamina.
Yes.
John's rolling stamina
You are rolling your stamina, yes.
with a plus 23. Okay. All right.
With a plus 23. Wow. Okay.
Well, I rolled a 19, so 42.
Total of 42. All right. As you begin working, it's not hard to get people to pitch in. Basically, you just need to kind of start doing something. And again, spirits are so high after this bonfire meeting. People start to kind of gather in around you. If you start asking what you're doing, you begin to tell them, start coordinating people. Doesn't take long for Harry to kind of get involved as well, as he somewhat graciously kind of takes the lead for you, telling people what to raise and what to put as you spend a bit more time kind of directing people. Walls get raised, he takes a nail gun, starts to put things in, and they are definitely not beautiful looking. I almost forgot to ask, what quality junk are we using?
Oh, let's go ahead and because we've got a little bit of it. Let's go ahead and continue using our. Well, for right now, let's do our average junk. So let's.
Average junk?
Yeah.
Okay. And I believe you have enough to build both of them out of average junk.
Yes. And the bunkhouses, how much junk do they take? You didn't have it listed here, so. I know bunkhouses can be upgraded with 2 units of junk.
Yes. They are. I didn't write it down. 3 junk each.
3 junk each? Okay.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and go ahead and use up 6 of that junk. That would put us at 16 average junk.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
As you raise these up, like I said, they're definitely not pretty looking, but they are there and they are solid. And they are, again, these kind of just humid collection of walls and roofs. No doors, just door frames. But they are very quickly raised, and a space is added for cots. And one of them comes up, and the majority of a second one even comes up, as you have created 2 new bunkhouses for the farm.
So we have 3 bunkhouses currently.
You have 5 bunkhouses currently.
We have 5 bunkhouses. Oh,
Because I believe, if I remember correctly, you started with 3 bunkhouses.
no, we
just-
started with 1 bunkhouse. I
No,
added
just-
the. What did we?
You started with 3. You're at
Oh.
6 actually. You started with 3. You made
Oh.
the 1. You made 2 more. You're at 6 bunkhouses at the moment.
I will take your word for it. Oh, big
Hold
bunk,
on.
3 bunkhouses. Oh, okay.
That
All
checks out
right.
because he did say we
Yes.
started with a couple of them.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
wait.
So if we start with 3 and we just made 2, that would make 5, right?
I
You're
know
at-
'cause
yes.
you made one the other day too.
Yeah, you made 1 the other
We,
day.
we
so
made
you're
a
at-
cabin the other day.
Was it a cabin the other day? Oh, right,
Yes.
it was cabin, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
no,
so you're at 5 bunkhouses and 1 cabin.
Wonderful. Okay.
a well-oiled machine we are, B.
Well, that will get everybody roughly. Everybody is under a roof. That was our main goal. Now we can work on food stuff and comfort.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As I will say, you have all 500 people now have space to stay here, if they so wish.
Which they do. Currently.
All right. So yeah, was that? I believe those are my 2 downtime activities.
That was one of your downtime activities.
Holy crap! We built 2 in 1 downtime activity.
You
did.
got 500 people hanging out and helping you, dude. Like,
That is true. That is
And you rolled
very
a total
true.
of 42 on this thing. The DC was at 20, so yeah.
All right.
like you kicked the ass of today. I not so much. How'd you add the plus 23 to that roll, by the way?
I just put it in I put it under the miscellaneous section under my attributes.
Oh, right, you right.
You kicked the ass of today. Today kicked my ass.
There's symmetry in there. All right. Well then, let's see.
No, it wasn't that. There's if you hold Alt while clicking a stat for a roll, you can add a number to it.
Neat. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Now the rest are gonna be a little difficult. And let's see here. What do we have on the farm currently? The farm consists of 4 base buildings, the big house, and 3 bunkhouses. Okay, that's it.
Actually, before you make a next decision,
Huh?
Considering he spent the first half of the day doing this, would this be when the radio call from Taylor comes in?
Probably.
I will say, yeah, as you finish raising the second one and people are kind of just finalizing details and moving things in, there's a moment where Harry kind of looks over, kind of frowns, then turns to you, John, and is your backpack normally squawking all angry like?
Only when someone really wants me. As John will come over, clap him on the shoulder. You mind finishing up there? You don't need me, do you?
As the
I'd like to think John has not actually lifted a hammer at any point throughout this. This instead
I like to
directing
think-
people.
Every single, like, he's lifted the tool multiple times, but every single time right before he kind of sees someone attempting to volunteer, hands it off.
No, probably 100% what's happening. He's one of the organizers / hype men, is what it is. He's making sure everybody else is super excited to get to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll just grin at Harry and make his way over to his backpack, fish out the radio, presuming it's the source of the squawking.
Yeah, it is.
Step outside for just a little privacy.
Okay. You can hear a heavily staticked Taylor's voice, kind of squabbling, and John, come in. Emergency.
As John is lifting the radio to his face, grinning for a second, the moment he hears emergency, his face entirely falls as he steps away even further as he clicks on, Taylor, what's up? What's wrong?
Hang on. As Richard,
Yeah.
Taylor hands the radio to you, and I got John.
I think Richard nearly falls over with the two of them as I kind of stumble to a stop, heaving heavily, taking a moment. In fact, John, you can probably actually hear the ragged breaths of Richard before he will swallow hard and reach over.
Hey, we ran into some trouble.
Are you okay? What's going on?
Actually, as he's asking, okay, I think as Taylor's getting a good look at Richard, those wounds that had kind of clamped shut earlier have reopened as my healing ability is temporary.
Oh, shiz.
Yeah. As heaving hard and kind of stumbling a bit, as I will try to walk and talk, but not doing a great job.
Acolyte. Fucker with 2 machetes. I had weird glass vials, I think. I don't know what that was about.
John's eyes just bug out of his head as he leans back against some wall.
Or ghouls as well. I think we lost them.
You think you lost them? You better tell me you running.
Fuck yeah, we're running. Once we're hanging up, we're going again. Look, just tell whatever people with guns you have just to be on an eye out. You be ready to help them. It might be a day out if they do head your way. I'm not sure. Something about whatever that acolyte was doing was bad news, though. I don't think he's there for us.
What's he there for?
Hell if I know. Look, just be ready. We gotta keep running. I don't know if they're following still. I had to drop my pack to get away from this shit, so we gotta go.
Shit, what'd you lose?
I think you don't even get a radio reply as Richard is just kind of shoving this radio back in Taylor's hands and scooping her up to continue bounding. Thankfully, redlining isn't any slower, even though I've been slowed down because I'm innately faster than her and she's not walking anymore.
Oh, goodbye. How bye.
But yeah, no, as you click a few times, we've already taken off and you do not get a reply.
As John is just going to continue clicking, he's like, Richard, Tyler, what? I need a little bit. Oh, shit, you guys better be taking your sweet ass time and making it right.
In and out, 3-day hike. What could go wrong?
You bastard. As John just lets the radio go, presses it to his forehead as he leans back against like the wall of one of the new bunkhouses, just staring off into the middle distance for a long while as he just shakes his head and sighs as all of the revelry, all of the positivity, the hope just sort of freezes in his mind, just fragile looking as he thinks for a moment and honestly takes a few long breaths, even his skin sort of rippling just to the outside observer. Every once in a while, his eyes will almost milk over.
All right. And with that incredibly cheery note, I will ask John, what do you plan on doing now?
Well, after John finishes freaking out, is going
Put
to
that showman smile back on, keep the people happy.
as he is the moment he sees anybody kind of move back to the back of this bunkhouse, it is just a mask of a smile as he stuffs the radio. I just imagine this random passerby just he smiles and claps him on the shoulder and moves back towards the construction project and honestly starts moving people in.
Okay.
As in, like, trying to put them somewhere safe, or...
Oh yeah, well, first off, he's trying to get
help
everybody
them
into
move
the
into the
bunkhouses.
houses.
Yeah, like he's organizing who's going to be here, and then possibly, like he's consulting with Harry, like, hey, we can start planning to make these, more comfortable and more spacious, but other projects first, as he is going to immediately make his way. Well, immediately being as he's looking at finding all the important people, he is looking for Rena. He is looking for Georgie.
Hold on. Do you really want to tell Georgie that Richard already fucked up?
He needs to know about the possible ghouls coming this way.
Oh, that's a fair point.
But Rena,
Rena,
Georgie, and Sid.
Richard fucked up.
He doesn't know that.
Doesn't
All
even
he
know.
knows is they ran into a ghoul, or ghouls and an acolyte, and they
Oh,
might be
fine.
coming southward, or westward, I guess.
All things considered, I didn't get infected by this bite, and Taylor remained unscathed. I'd say, as far as the escape is going, pretty good.
Oh yeah, perfect. Your backpack is torn into shreds. It's going amazingly.
I've lost 9
Right,
days of food and
Survival
water.
game.
I can hunt, and we're by a river.
Oh, man. But yeah, John is 100% going to quietly and subtly, without tipping anyone else off, let the leadership know there might be ghouls incoming.
Okay. All right, and I think on that note, we'll go ahead and take a brief break. So let me double check my notes. You guys, Richard,
Yeah.
you had like 200 miles to go. when last.
Yeah,
we got.
what's going to happen here is Richard's not even going to let Taylor walk. I'm for the first half of this day after this combat, because Richard is like, I want to get the fuck away from these things. I'm hoisting her over my shoulder and I'm going to redline.
Okay. All right. So you are going to get to the docks where your car is parked.
So holy shit, redlining takes me all the way to there?
Yeah, I will.
In the first half of the day? Because I am only moving the average 30 feet because I am technically slowed down, so my 60 goes down to 30.
Well, you are still hiking, so that stuff doesn't apply to hiking.
Oh, okay,
hiking is 50 miles. Redlining doubles the distance, which would bring to 100 miles, and 2 blocks of 100 miles would take you there.
No, I'm just redlining for the first half.
Just for the first half?
Just for the first half.
And then no one will travel for the second half?
Also,
I
was saying I believe you could also take, unless I don't think we ever polished off this part of the homebrew here, but I believe you can also take the recover action to get rid of the fatigued action.
It's the meditate or rest basically does that for me.
Oh, gotcha.
What's gonna happen though? No, as we're running and going, and Richard keeps going, and there is a point as the sun is at its peak that Richard finally stumbles to a stop, nearly dropping Taylor, but more lowering her with a light thud onto the ground as he does kind of scramble forward away from her, heaving heavily. I gotta stop. I gotta eat something. Do you think we lost them?
She kind of shakily looks around. I hope so.
Okay. Look, I need you to hide and rest, and I'm gonna be back as fast as I can, but I can't be near you right now, as I'm gonna go hunt.
Okay.
Richard doesn't even give her a chance to fight on this one. He is bounding away as I'm he knows full well if I do not get away from Taylor and find at least something else or have time to cool off, I'm gonna fucking eat Taylor. Like, I am wounded, I am hungry, I am scared. Every part of the instincts that is being piloted by the other inner motherfucker in me would probably say, hey, you're breaking our promise. I'm going to now eat the food that is here.
Yeah, little Richard ain't gonna be happy about that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will point out, this will take a downtime activity.
I know, this is going to be the other half of the day.
Okay.
That is why I redlined initially.
Fair enough.
And I will put out the caveat here. I'm looking for a person. Richard needs... I'm looking for people. I'm looking, hopefully, for bandits. Because the only people that should technically be out here at this point are bandits.
What few survivors of the Margaritaville incident?
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. Richard is kind of blacking out in this process as I'm going to let instincts take over. So if it's not a bandit, that's going to be something Richard is going to have to very quickly cope with.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I am looking for... Wasn't there a look for trouble action to some degree?
That's the hunt table.
Yeah. That's just a survival roll.
Yeah, go ahead, give me survival.
Cool. Am I getting any bonuses on this? Because I can add that to the number here. Oh, that's a 29. I don't know why that listed as a... Oh, shit. No, with the critical, that shouldn't be a 29.
Question, Richard.
Yeah.
Boy.
You're close to feral, right?
Oh
yeah.
boy.
Did you say you're close to blacking out feral?
I very much stated as much as I took off into these woods to you.
Wait a minute.
My God.
Noah's face.
As long as it is not Taylor, Richard is going to eat whatever this is.
As you take off to the woods, and there is a moment, a very familiar moment, as you kind of let the other Richard take over. Your mind blanks, memories are no longer being formed. There's this base animalistic instinct that is just this fuzzy perception of hunt, kill, eat. And before you slowly come to your senses.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. You slowly come to your senses. There is the taste of fresh, raw meat. And it tastes amazingly good. The coppery blood, the sinewy pieces of meat. You can even taste marrow, as it seems you've cracked open some of these bones and lick them clean. And proceed. And I will say, you have eaten one average food for the day. You don't need to worry about your food for the day.
Good news, I also fucking heal to full. Thanks, eating interaction.
All right, nice. And then there's a slow moment as you start to realize what you're eating. There's a collection of black and white fur. It seems to go down in a long stripe. And then there is a scent, a very nauseating, overpowering scent that you start to think it's just the fur, and then the meat, and then it is all over you. Richard,
You eat a skunk.
let me read this off the hunting table. A skunk, if hunted, is an auto success, but everyone participating must make a DC 16 fortitude save or become incapacitated for the rest of the day. Richard, I need a fortitude save.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have anything to reroll this with.
Did you say, wait, you said DC 14?
DC 16.
Oh no.
You are incapacitated, which is just a -5 to your rolls.
So I'm not.
You're not out.
Oh,
Good news. I don't smell like Richard anymore.
Oh my gosh. So
this is the worst and best case scenario.
my original thought was either A, he found pigs, or B, he found another cow. That was my first thought, was another cow. Oh my gosh. Like a male cow.
Not a can of tomato soup in sight.
Nope, not a can of tomatoes. If you had any, they're long gone.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
As after this, Richard will. I think there is just the floating thought of severe invitation of really this, and then the fucking just reluctant sigh of at least it wasn't a person, as he just kind of goes through a couple of waves of emotions before he will begin to skulk back towards Taylor.
All 5 stages of grief.
As Taylor will probably smell Richard well before she sees him.
As at this point, I'll say over there, the sun is starting to go down a little bit. As you head over, you can see that Taylor has made a small camp. No fire, but some impromptu lean-to shelters from some tarps and other supplies in her backpack. And as she sees you, kind of stands up, gives you a wary glance, and you all good now?
Yeah, sorry about that. Don't come near me, not for... Kind of gestures to a still bloodied mouth as he hasn't even bothered to put his shirt back on properly or pull up his bandana. I think I ate a skunk.
There's a pause. You think you ate a skunk.
Just nods his head slowly, not quite sure how to answer, as thankfully the events are also gone to him, just the aftermath, much as if turning into a werewolf.
As she kind of stares at you, and is there a reason you're not sure if you ate a skunk?
I won't lie. I kind of just started running away from you. And then when I came to, there was just a streak of black and white fur. And I can't smell anything else.
As stiffs, that wrinkles her nose. Is well.
Oh, we could talk across the road. Richard kind of moves to make sure he's downwind of her.
So she kind of just looks at you and it was getting a little dark. I kind of assumed we'd stop for the night.
Yeah. I should clarify. While I was away, that was also a just indication that Taylor should probably take the rest action and recover her -1 to her will that she currently has from our previous round of hustling.
Gotcha. All right.
As he will nod and seem to just kind of collapse as he finds a tree log within line of sight, and just sits down on the ground, slumped back against it, looking exhausted.
She kind of regards you for a moment, or finally says, "So there are other pulses?"
Yeah, kind of. You may have heard it over the radio. Screamers, I think they were called at one point.
You called it acolytes, you and John.
Yeah, that's what we called them.
What they call
That would
veils.
be the 4th one we've met in total, I think.
Are they friendly?
As he looks like he was about to make a snide comment and then just sort of deflates a little bit. I think they had the chance to be. And I think outside of Tulsa, we kind of fucked it up with the rest of them.
So, no.
Nods a bit, pulling Tulsa's gas mask off of his hip and just kind of sitting with it in his hands, looking down at it. A mix of grief and confusion and maybe a little bit of anger seeming to mix on his face as he's really not quite sure what to make of the idea that he cannot in any way make any sort of connection with the acolytes outside of fighting them, potentially.
As the silence kind of drags on for a bit, Taylor takes out the large golden gun and stares at it for a moment. And that's terrifying.
Yeah. You didn't get, like, nipped or cut or anything back there, did you?
She shakes her head no. Believe me, double and triple check, but what I could tell, no open cuts anywhere, so should be good.
He does nod, relief finally covering up the mixed emotions. You get first rest. I'm gonna just be here and keep an eye on things, and if I hear anything, I'll wake you.
And she scoffs and rolls her eyes and, no, you can go ahead and take first rest, and I'll wake you when it's time for your shift.
As he gives a furrowed brow, open mouth as if he's about to say something to protest, before he does catch, I'm assuming, a very serious look on her face.
Mm-hmm.
Before he will reluctantly nod and just settle into laying back against this trunk, not even bothering to move as the wear of today sets in. The fighting of 4 ghouls and acolyte running 100 miles and then killing a skunk. If I remember correctly, redlining gives me a -1 fortitude and -1 will, doesn't it?
That is correct. And that is cumulative.
Oh no, it's -2 to will.
Oh, that's correct.
Shit. Well, tomorrow might be a rest day to start with. Today fucked me up, and that is all my hero points.
Well,
Oh yeah.
okay. As we now turn back to the plantation. Say, John, in the interest of not creating a panic, it's actually kind of taken a couple hours to track Georgie and Sid and Rena all down and get them into one room. Having to kind of pass off messages as like, I need to talk to them. You know, it's urgent. Not an emergency, but it's urgent.
Not
and
an
whatnot.
It's not.
And having
Don't
to
think about
play having to play the good old fashioned phone tag with almost 500 people.
it.
But after a while, enough messages are passed, and you manage to kind of collect them as again, Rena and Georgie and Sid kind of all collect into the old room of Sammy's office, which is actually now rather bare and utilitarian, as quite a lot has been stripped out and redistributed to everyone down below. As Georgie kind of turns and to you and, okay, John, said you needed to talk.
Yeah. Might want to be sitting down for this one. In the interest of not making a panic, I said it wasn't an emergency, but it was, in fact, urgent. The lie was that it wasn't an emergency. As he looks between the three of them.
As Rena kind of takes the only chair left in the room, Georgie looks around, opts to sit on the floor before Sid kind of just crosses his arms and stays standing, seeming to wait for you to continue.
As John just leans against the big old desk. Flashes of memory of a beheading and a heavy corpse. And he looks up again between the three of them. Just got off the radio with Richard Taylor. They're alive. They ran into 4 ghouls and an acolyte. As he looks again between the three of them. He seemed to insinuate they might be heading west. It's a possibility.
There's a solemn silence for a long while across the room, where Georgie nods and, oh, yeah, that sounds serious.
As he nods. Moreover, he said the acolyte might have been acting strangely. It might be a scheme of some sort of potential trick, more than your usual run-of-the-mill attacks or anything. But it could also be nothing, to be fair. They might be after something else. They might not even be coming this way. They don't know. But still probably be best to be prepared for the possibility.
Strangely, how?
He said something about 2 vials of some sort of black liquid, I think he said. I didn't get much. They were still on the run, as they should be. That's all I got. He was doing something weird with the ghouls. I didn't get much more than that.
He nods. Marina kind of turns, looks at you, John, and, all right, well then, ghouls, acolytes, what can you tell us to help arm ourselves?
Ghouls are dangerous. They're tall, incredibly fast, fantastic trackers. They're the bloodhounds and the attack dogs of the hordes. Acolytes, even more so. Single-minded zealots serving their chosen, they call them. They're cunning, intelligent, better trackers even still than ghouls, and they can practically be invisible. Not physically, but you won't see them coming.
Tracking through what? Scent?
Scent, sight, hearing. The senses unreal. And likely they can see in the dark too, better than I can. They can track by scent, I know they can. And I have a suspicion they can even see heat.
As Sid looks at you and you serious on that one?
They're the predator made real. Z looks to Sid. Admittedly, I didn't know the specifics of it. There's a lot more to it. Whereas ghouls will hunt for food and destruction, territory, all that, acolytes serve a greater purpose, more strategic purpose. I happen to know it's not always killing. Sometimes it's much worse than that. I think we can do best make sure that no one goes alone. But I don't know how to start that here without starting a panic or people asking questions.
As another long pause, everyone takes a moment to digest that information. Or Georgie kind of turns to Rena. Rena thinks for a moment. As Rena speaks up, and I mean, I don't think that's a terribly difficult policy to implement. Up until this point, we haven't had a whole lot of rules, so we can simply pass it off as an oversight. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad policy to just keep in general.
Buddy system. Very least. Although larger groups than 2 would be better.
She nods at that, and
Could do work
Well-
groups.
also true. I'll make sure that the buddy system is a firm implementation and give a strong suggestion at keeping it more than that. As Georgie nods, turns to you, John, and there's some other things you might want to do if you think there's a chance to head it over this way.
What was that?
Never had to deal with ghouls or acolytes before, but definitely German shepherds and pit bulls.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, well, cayenne pepper works best, but garlic, regular pepper, anything particularly smelly, lay it thick around the borders, kind of helps as a deterrent.
As he looks between Sid and Rena, nodding. Not a bad idea. Couldn't hurt.
And if you're really true about this whole sensing heat thing, might want to set up a few larger bonfires towards the borders.
Not a
Like-
bad idea.
Might flush them out, give an advance warning on if they're really trying to move in on something.
Yeah. Now, other things to consider. As I said before, acolytes aren't always kill, eat, hunting. All that. They serve a grander purpose, the grander design of the hordes. Be similar to a revenant in that sense, only more single-minded, more, zealous. It would be a good idea to constantly guard food storage and water storage.
As there's a long pause for comprehension seems to dawn on Georgie's face, and he gives a long nod
Just like what happened with the caravan.
as he looks to Sid and, well, you're planning on sticking around, right? Don't think you have a job to do just yet. And Sid kind of moves his head side to side, shrugs, and yeah, I suppose that's something I can start arranging.
Yeah. Well, we knew it was coming, I just didn't know it was coming this early. As he does give a smile. And it'd be good practice if nothing else. Let's hope it's a false alarm. But we can start really looking at our security measures, our scouts, our sentries, all that good stuff. Wasn't my forte. But
Marina nods as she stands up in the chair, and well, like I said, good idea just to have in general.
You're right. You're right. Well, unless you all have any suggestions, I think we're good on housing. Everybody's got a roof over their head now. We can start implementing a rotation for the more comfortable housing, and then we can start building up, well, the food production part of this.
Marina gives a nod. Not a bad idea. Anything else we need to know about?
I got nothing. As he gestures around, or he looks around to the rest of their hands open.
No one else seems to say anything.
All right.
Shrugs. Then, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I have to start spreading the word around. Takes a second.
Yeah, it does. I was trying to find you all. As he starts making his way on out.
As they head out along with you. And I will ask John,
Hmm?
as you have one more activity for the day, how are you planning on spending it?
Oh, well, let's see here. We've got 16 average quality junk. If we wanted to, say, make a greenhouse. Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
A composter doubles the production of one crop plot, as if the cultivate activity has been part of it. I don't see crop plots as a thing, but I do see the greenhouses.
So, technically, the entire farm counts as one crop plot.
Okay.
So, normally, the way it's set up, you would have multiple crop plots, right?
Okay.
Each one would produce a single unit of food. And if you wanted to do something like, let's say, the cultivate activity, to double that food, you would have to do it for every crop plot. So it would take multiple times.
Okay.
The thing with the farm, because it's a farm, and it's a nice farm with a lot of additions, it counts as one crop plot. So every greenhouse you put will give an additional
unit of
unit of superb food. But then
per 50 people staffing the farm.
Per 50 people staffing the farm. And then if you do something such as a composter, that is going to affect every piece of math that's currently adding up for that superb food.
Uh-huh. I see. All right.
Currently, the farm produces 1 unit of superb food every 3 days for every 50 people staffing the farm.
Okay.
It counts as a single crop pot for the purposes of the cultivate downtime activity.
So,
which for 50 people would be
10, because there's like 500 people.
Yes, so you have 500 people that are staying.
Mm-hmm.
1 unit for every 50 people. So it's currently producing 25 units of superb food every 3 days.
The farm is?
The farm is, without any additions to it.
Okay. So here's another question.
We definitely got to get up because the boat supplies we took from Margaretville aren't going to last very long.
I will say again, the farm produces food for the people on it. Everyone that currently lives on the farm, they have their food needs met. It doesn't eat into the 25 superb food.
Okay. 25 is like
Okay.
that's extra.
Yes.
Okay. So
There's a reason people brought up the potential profits.
yes.
Okay, cool.
So
that's
like this a lot. One of the things that we were going to do, because we only have a few people with gardening experience, was we were going to get into contact with Legba. Is that a separate downtime activity to try and maybe teach people this? Or could that be part of, say, the cultivate downtime activity?
Let me...
Depends on how long you want that class to run.
This is the one case I didn't think of with the downtime activities.
I guess it would be study. Except the book is Legba?
The book is Legba.
We're going to go ahead and say that's how it works. You are going to make this roll. Technically, you will be studying Legba, but any points you make will be passed on along to the farm, not to you.
Okay.
What do we roll for Legbology?
Okay.
So is this what you want to do?
Yes. I
You're
think
gonna
so.
have at least another 2 days without Richard.
Yeah. So I think starting out, this is definitely what John is going to try to do. He's going to try to get in contact with Legba and try to get people like a primer on like how do we start making food come out of the ground.
Okay. So then, say you get in contact with Legba. It's not hard. You spend about an hour and a half on the usual pleasantries. As he immediately talks, seems rather excited at the prospect of this farm. As you talk, can you make me that intellect roll, please?
Sure thing. Can I get any bonuses on this whatsoever? Just from a group effort kind of thing.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Fair. It's fair. You're kind and fair.
I don't know if you've been to school, but learning is not really a group effort type of activity. If anything, it hinders it.
Okay.
You
well,
do have a hero point.
I don't want to, but I will. In fact, he's the hero point.
Oh,
You're about to have a bunch of nice food, John.
old strategy.
Well, that is a 15.
That is a 15. Okay.
Which I think counts as a success.
We are gonna go ahead and say that Legba is an average quality nonfiction book. Which is... It's a weird sentence to say out loud.
I have a very specific question here. Obviously, John is helping reiterate to other people. Is John going to get this as a skill on his sheet for himself as well?
No, John does not.
Is he just regurgitating it to everyone? That fair enough.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm proud of myself. I avoided eating my girlfriend, and not in the fun way.
Glad I finished my drink.
But yeah, and as you bring along, it seems like at least the majority have gotten the salient points. At this point, you can kind of assume that everyone in the crowd has gotten a few things, and everyone else can fill the other people in.
Yeah.
So knowledge kind of begins making the rounds, and you sign off and whatnot.
Yeah, thank Legba for his time. Appreciate it.
I see.
And if anything, this is a doorway now that they know Legba. This is also a chance for you to set up trade for them eventually.
Yep, networking.
Because we confirmed that this farm does have a truck. We just don't want to take the truck from the farm.
Oh yeah, you don't want to try to use that truck for major travel.
It's a tractor.
Yeah.
Those things that, you meet on the road, and then they have big old yellow triangles on them, and then you try to pass them.
But yeah, as you do say that, and holding the CP radio, and but
Yeah, no problems. I mean, something tells me you might find a way to pay me back on this whole thing down the line.
We're hoping. A little bit of back and forth between everybody.
he laughs at that, and
How's Richard doing, by the way?
Oh, he's breathing last I checked. And boy's breathing, he's doing all right.
as Legba also laughs it off. And,
Well, next time you see him, let him know Marie's wanting to talk to him.
Yeah, all right, we'll do. I'll pass it along. Thank you.
yeah. She's,
Everything all quiet on the Midwestern front?
So far, yeah. I mean, nothing much. Heck, everybody's pretty much homebodies now. Marie's the only one that really heads out, and that's to scavenge more stuff for Vidnod's store.
Yeah, all right. Glad you all can be.
Yeah, well, you take it easy, John.
You have a good night, Legba.
Oh, you too.
Hopefully see you soon.
Same here.
I'd like to think when he... How's Richard doing? There's the brief smash cut to Richard head over the back of the log, fucking hands draped between his knees as he is fucking passed out, covered in skunk blood, and fucking kind of cut up a little bit. And then it just cuts back to John's face, pursed lips. He's breathing.
last I checked.
Yeah, John will sign off, and he'll make sure everybody's kind of passing the information along, took notes, etc. And then he's going to make his way to Sammy's old office. And that's
Okay.
where he's gonna bunk for the night.
Okay. You make your way.
In the scent of your first really big kill.
Make your way inside. The room is even more bare. The one remaining chair has been taken. It seems like even some of the table has been cannibalized as people have pried off nails and taken a large chunk of the top, leaving only these 2 cabinets without a surface area.
As John reaches into one of those cabinets, I don't necessarily have a hero point to spend on this, but he's looking for the hard liquor that he knew was
I mean,
there.
we confirmed there was some in here last time, unless
Yeah.
someone has already rifled through it.
Yep.
Do you want to make me a flat D20 roll?
Oh boy, sure. 4.
That's how many
As-
bottles of alcohol are left, right, Noah?
As you take a look around, you aren't finding anything. The various closets are kind of all empty and bare. You know, the one kind of bar area he did keep the bottles is gone. Not even a bar left, as again, they've pulled out the nails, salvaged the usable wood. And at one point, you do find something as you're moving around the desk. Notice one of the drawers kind of seems a little short. Kind of thump on it, and it gives a hopeful hollow sound. You pull your fingers around, manage to pry off a false bottom, grab a bottle of reads good old Jim Beam whiskey, black label and everything. For you tilt the bottle and notice it entirely empty. Cap long gone.
There is a lot of noise that happens from that office. Just a lot of noise.
Is it like smashing the bottle, accidentally cutting your hand, going, ow, fuck my hand? Like,
There is the sound of glass smashing, of wood banging, and then breaking. As I just imagine the camera pan out to the door, and then there is a feral screech for a moment. Then there's silence.
There is a heavy, unnatural silence from the other end of the door. And I will say, no one comes and disturbs you that night. For such a large part of the house, seems like no one wants to potentially bunk down here as well, which is odd.
almost like they heard a monster.
And
That's John's night.
okay, and as the sun sets, Richard,
Yeah. Don't
you
make me roll a will save, please.
You don't have clean water on you, I think.
No, it's gone. It's all gone.
It
When I
is-
have to figure out water, it's going to be from that nearby river.
Mm-hmm.
I need to double check
Or if you
something.
consider me eating a skunk, if any of the blood counts as fluids.
Not for that reason.
I mean, you also redlined it part of the day, so
Yeah, I've already put my negatives in though.
I was gonna say, like, you're gonna need hydration.
Yeah, Richard.
You're still partly human.
Richard,
Yeah.
first off, John, I need you to mark off your food and water for the day.
Sure thing.
Richard,
I did technically eat for this day at the beginning of the day. I
you
marked
did
off the
eat for this
supplies
day.
Yeah, but next day
you-
I am gonna have to find water.
Food is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you did drink your water for the day?
I did drink water for the day. Yes,
That's good.
I drank food and water for this
That's
day.
very good.
I've technically double ate for this day.
You did double eat for this day,
Yeah.
which... Oh, okay. So real quick, you want to know
Yeah.
the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good news first.
So you double ate for this day, meaning
Yes.
you are currently at the very healthy part of the health track.
Oh yeah,
Um,
there's a health tracker.
If you move down the health track, you will be at healthy, which is where
Yeah.
you're normally at. And so you have to slip down 2 rungs before you start to suffer ill effects.
Yes.
Which I'll remind you, the health track is not something you will fuck around with. The bad news is you do need to drink water for the day. Not
For this
drinking
next
water
upcoming day. Yes.
for the next upcoming day. Every day you do not drink water, you move down 1 on the health track.
Yeah.
And it'll let you know if you decide to drink water from, say, like a marshland without properly spending a downtime activity collecting water, I am going to make you do a disease roll. And a high
Yeah,
disease
you
roll.
will. Yeah, you
Because
will.
no one's supposed to be drinking marsh water. Let me tell you that much.
I also promised I wouldn't eat garbage in front of Taylor unless it was absolutely necessary.
You know, you keep promising not to eat garbage, and then you somehow put absolutely necessary in the agreement.
He ate a
Stick
skunk.
that in there.
Look, if I could eat lead, I could eat trash. That said,
And
You can't have your trash until you eat your lead.
now, here's what I'll remind you, gentlemen.
yes, this is the end of our free time.
This is the end of your 2 guaranteed days of safe time.
Yeah, boy.
Really? My safe time, Noah? Is that what today was?
Yeah, I said
Which
2.
it is time?
I
Globally.
said 2 days before I do anything. This was planned, but for the end of these 2 days,
Yep.
we're gonna throw that out there real quick.
Yeah.
As
Oh, boy.
both of you go to sleep.
Cliffhanger coming on.
Well, let's see.
It's not
John.
like he hasn't started every or ended every session with Richard being fucking terrorized.
But John, you have a very restful sleep. Richard, not so much. Turns out you don't really get used to skunk smell.
No,
It does slowly fade,
not
but
fully, but somewhat.
You get
but
no
just
fun.
as you seem to finally fall into deep, deep sleep, as the various pains and aches of your body finally subside, the uncomfortable, damp earth beneath you seeping into your clothes, you are woken by Taylor, and she kind of asks you to put on watch, and as you kind of sit there for a few moments, letting the grogginess subside, feeling like you've only slept 5 minutes, you do notice the sun rising uncharacteristically early, and after taking a few moments to kind of let your brain catch up and put 2 and 2 together, it seems like Taylor, who is currently fully asleep behind you, took on the lion's share of the watch and has given you maybe about 30 to 45 minutes left as she sleeps herself.
Damn it, Taylor. I think either way, because of how fucked up Richard is, we were probably going to take the rest action for the start of this day anyways.
Oh, you say
Um,
that.
I'm going to try. It is definitely, as I'm woken up, it is the slow, open, blinked, the look of disappointment that it is my turn before I do sit up, realizing the sunset, turning to say something before realizing she is already conked out. Will sigh and just sit up properly now on this log, no longer slumping back against it, and instead using it as a makeshift seat. Yeah, no, I at least take the watch I can.
Okay. And as you take a seat, all of a sudden, there is a brief sound. It takes a moment for your sluggish mind to kind of recognize it. And it sends you in a panic before you recognize the familiar sound of crackling radio static. As John, several hundred miles away, in the large office of the plantation, all by yourself, you slowly feel your eyelids rising, confused as to why you're waking, before you also hear this crackling sound of a radio going,
John, Richard, come in.
There's the crackling of bone as John slowly sits up, his gray, pallid body surrounded by broken wood, as he looks over toward the radio, mouthless, milked over eyes, before he reaches over, grabs the radio, lifts it up to his face. His face splits down the middle where his mouth should be, as he just hisses, "What?"
As I will say, I am also scrambling to grab this radio from Taylor's backpack and moving away from her while keeping her within eye line to not wake her.
Just a pause, and
John, is that you?
as half awake mind slowly kind of begins to recognize the voice on the other end as Marie's mom.
There is a long pause before John's face begins to form on top of the gray pallid body. There's a sigh. "Sorry about that. You got me waking up.
Yeah,
What's up?"
Here as well. Sorry about that.
Good to hear your voice, Richard.
Yeah, I'll catch you up on things in a bit.
The sigh on the other end, and
How quickly can the two of you get to Mudtown?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, damn it. Noah.
How much of a drive do we know it would be from the bug? Yeah, I guess from the bug back to the farm and then out to Mudtown. How long of a day's drive would that be, give or take?
well, let's see. The bug is currently at the docks.
Yeah.
That's 450 miles. And then from there to Mudtown, doing more or less a straight shot, which we can go ahead and count is about 1,200 miles.
How many days would that translate to in the buggy?
Well, the bug goes 200 miles per block of time.
And what's the total? Sorry. What's the total mileage?
1,200 plus 450 is a total of 1,650 miles.
Okay, and then divide that by 400. That's about 4 days.
4 days normal travel.
Yeah.
200. Wait, we can travel 200 miles a day?
No,
200 miles per
total.
time block. Yeah,
Okay.
400 a day.
Okay, alright. I guess the bug gives us a bonus. Okay.
Bugs are much faster than walking, believe it or not.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the, okay, yeah, good.
Of course, you're also
Fuck.
100 miles away from the bug at the moment.
Yeah, give or take about 5 days. What's going on?
5 days, that's not enough time.
As there's suddenly kind of a few sounds, it sounds like someone's kind of taking away the radio. And you hear the familiar, slightly calmer voice of the mayor go,
John, Richard, it's Marie. We think someone snatched her.
Fuck. John, it's gonna be the Acolyte.
this is a pause.
Acolyte.
We bumped into something, or I bumped into something
Go that
yesterday.
fast in half a day?
You'd be surprised, John.
You mean like a Tulsa acolyte?
Yeah, but not one of ours.
Okay, well, I can give you your first piece of good news in all this mess. It ain't one of those.
What do you think it was then?
Judging by the seal on this very official letter, someone acted in behalf of King Lucas.
Motherfucker.
What was the name of that, the other kid we let in again?
Charlie, I
Charlie.
believe it was.
Yep.
Hey, Charlie, is Charlie around in there?
Is he?
Sure is.
You know what? You can ask him maybe about this. We're
We're
maybe
coming.
we can cut it down to 3.
As soon as we can.
John, do you have the gas set aside at home, right?
I get it.
Okay, pack a bag for us.
Yep.
Get that ready. We'll be there. Oh fuck!
As soon as you can.
You're son of a bitch. No.
Grand Elder, son of a bitch.
You a motherfucker, is what it is.
I'm gonna beat up Charlie. I'm gonna beat up this 16-year-old. I don't give a shit anymore. We warned him what would happen.
I'm redlining it all. And where you is right now.
Yeah. We're maybe you can cut it down to 3 days. We're gonna try. We're in a bit of a situation ourselves, but we'll do what we can. Did they give you any way of contacting them, a channel or something on that letter?
No, not particularly. Though they mentioned they'd be around in about 3 more days, asking us to turn over both the boy and the jewels, which, from what I heard from Charlie, was an issue on that last one.
That's
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, he sold them off, remember?
Uh-huh.
Did he tell you what he did?
Yeah? Gave me the bullet points. To his credit, and this is about the only credit I'm willing to extend, he did come clean willingly soon as he saw the seal on the end of that letter.
Well, at least that. I look forward to the reunion. There's just a wide grin on John's face that has absolutely no joy in it.
How much more food per day does Taylor have in her pack, out of curiosity? Because you said she packed for her.
Mm-hmm. Seems like she has 2 more worth of food and water for herself.
And how long would it take for the... What's the distance between us and the farm right now?
You and the farm right now?
Or from the buggy and the farm, I guess.
The buggy and the farm is...
Roughly 400 mile.
Yep, about 450.
Richard's gonna get this buggy back to the farm, but he's gonna be fucked up as today's gonna be red line running and red line driving. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so cute. You thought you were going to be resting.
you suck. I hate you.
Well, good news. You're gonna be marked. I'll have the talk with Taylor, but I'm gonna take a big guess that we're both going to eat and drink this water, and then I'm going to run with Taylor to those dogs.
As kind of from the other end of the radio, the mayor, there is kind of a huff and...
Well, do us a favor and keep us updated when you can, if there's any change to that timetable.
Will do.
We're gonna aim for 3 days if we can.
Alright, see you then.
Real quick, hang on. Gonna do a thing real quick. Alright, okay, that's it. Yeah, hang tight. Be there a moment we can. Not a moment or later.
I'll be real. Please don't fucking come running over to Richard. Pack the bags and be
Oh, no.
ready with the
Oh, no,
gas can.
It wasn't about you. That will
Oh,
say it
fair
wasn't
enough.
about you. But
Well,
another complication that John might have.
I do get to walk back to the first time we met him. We are kidnapping him this time.
I want to be clear. We're kidnapping you.
Unless the town can convince us otherwise. Our deal was he can live there if he doesn't fuck the town.
Do worry.
He's fuck the town.
Do worry. We are kidnapping you.
Do worry, we are kidnapping you. So, where do we go from here, Noah?
Well, first things first, John. What do you want to do on this lovely morning?
Oh, you know.
You got 2 blocks of time at least.
There's
Yeah.
no furniture left in your office rage room.
Yeah. Well, John is definitely going to pack those bags. And if that doesn't count as a downtime activity,
That does not, in fact.
you know what, actually?
Just prep
John-
as much of the farm as you can.
Yeah.
Or if you want to try searching for any further supplies.
Well, I was honestly considering taking the meditate downtime activity.
Yeah, absolutely. One of us should have hero points for this.
Probably. As honestly, yeah. John is just going to, like, spend time, this time, alone. Like, he is going to make excuses that, you know, he's not feeling well. He is going to be alone and process everything that's happened in a quiet room.
People do seem to find that a little strange, but given that most of the important stuff's done and you've contributed so much already, no one really pushes it, as you can go ahead and take your hero point for meditating.
Thanks.
Yes. Richard, we gonna run to the docks?
I'm gonna get fucked up. In fact, once more, because I've now ditched my, actually, what was relatively heavy pack, I am going to carry Taylor to at least, well, maybe not sleep, at least allow her to rest. I'm going to Redline. I'm hauling ass to these docks.
Okay.
I will, even on the way as we're running, assuming Taylor hasn't fully dozed off on my shoulders, fill her in on what's gone on, elaborating to her that we had initially rescued this kid at a hedge maze from a bunch of zombies. We had brought him back to Mudtown. He seemed a little off, but nothing really outstandish. And then we found out that, he was wanted by the Kingdom of Quebec, having stolen the crown of their king and sold it to try and get down into the US. On finding that out, we had threatened him, basically saying, don't fuck with Mudtown. No one fucks with Mudtown. If you fuck with Mudtown, we break your legs. He seemed to have gotten that message. Unfortunately, the fuckery he had committed has still caught up with him. And that's the summary that Richard's going to give her as he is bounding through these woods, using the road while he can, but if he ever becomes suspicious of anything around him, once again dipping back through the tree line.
As Tara listens to all of this, as you are zooming by, and at one point she does nod and, okay, yeah, King Crosley, that is not someone you cross.
I don't even know the guy, but apparently John's ex, I guess, is in goods with him.
Oh. Well, plot thickens on that one, I suppose.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going to speed the entire way back to the farm when we get to this car.
She scoffs and, I don't think there's any cops out here, Richard.
Oh, no.
You'd be surprised.
You know what? We'll talk about that one later.
There's a very questioning look on her, that one, but she doesn't push it.
Doesn't even look back at her over his shoulder as he continues to carry her towards these dots. We know where we hid the car. There was a particular bush we tucked it in. As we come here, what do we see? We haven't been back here for a little bit.
I will say, as you come here, there is a sudden moment where Taylor kind of squeezes your shoulder. She seems like she was going to say something else and continue this other conversation. Where she looks ahead and just kind of hiss, hey, stop, hide.
As I will skid and immediately dive into some bushes with her.
As you dive over to the side, you see this large area. It wasn't very pretty looking before. It was general wasteland, a bit more urban built up, as this is the coast of Florida. There were a lot of kind of casinos and pier docks and various amusement things scattered all about. Now a little more than dilapidated, rusting ruins and crumbling old bridges and whatnot. It looks even worse now.
Has it been obliterated under foot traffic of people fleeing?
It's definitely been crushed. There's quite a lot of soot in the area. It seems there has been a rainstorm that has kind of muddled it together to these waterlogged ashes, but some sort of devastating fire has burnt through here.
I wonder which one.
The original house to which you bummed your first ride to Margaritaville is no longer standing. You can see some of the broken up boards that suggest where it sat, but it's not there. There's several boats kind of run aground, turned over, and whatnot. But more pressing than all of that, and seemingly the reason why Taylor hissed for you to stop, are zombies. Quite a few of them. Slow, shambling, walking around, and as you stare at them, you notice a glassy-eyed stare in one as it bends over, picks up a scrap of paper, puts it on a waste paper basket, and drops it, to which the wind blows it out, as it seems quite a large number of ghosts are currently in this area right now.
Oh boy.
And can I get a perception check?
Yeah, sure. Perception. Uh, 11.
And as it slowly turns and shuffles away, you can see some large red plastic thing on its ears. As you look out across the group, there's actually quite a few of these.
Oh fuck! It's the workers from Ghost City. Are they ear protection?
No, it's not that. It's
What is
only
it?
on, and it looks large and red and square. Can't tell from this distance, but it's on quite a few of them.
Tags.
I mean, every ounce of me wants to investigate. Every bit of me also knows I can't fuck with this right now. I think we're gonna try and stealth our way towards the car.
Unless Taylor can investigate.
Yeah, if Taylor spots anything and you want to throw that out there, that'd be awesome. But I don't have time to investigate this right now.
Are you kind of asking for her opinion on that?
Yeah, I think that she at least catches me like staring for a moment and squinting my eyes, trying to figure out what the hell is on them.
As she kind of pauses, looks to you, and are these ghosts?
Yeah.
Only heard about them. By the time this strain was around, I was already stuck in Margaritaville.
I'll try to keep it to hearing about them. These things are bad news.
As she takes out a pair of binoculars from her bag, kind of looks for a moment, and are those wild livestock tags on their ears?
I knew they were tagged.
Look, if they're tagged, there's something bigger going on here. We gotta get to the car and get the fuck out of here.
I definitely agree with you on that one. This is just weird.
Right.
Yeah, trying to stealth our way towards this vehicle now.
It's them freaking building back up. Oh,
Yeah, they're prepping something, but we can't be here right now.
no, you're right. No, you're right.
You want that stealth check, Noah?
I would love that stealth check.
Hold on, I gotta roll radio first. Oh, okay. I've been blessed by radio. Let's go.
Don't say it before you roll, man.
You had to say it before you rolled?
18's still not a bad stealth number versus ghosts.
Oh, Taylor.
No, Taylor.
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 No, Taylor. So, Richard rolls a 6 for an 18. Taylor rolls a 1.
For a 15 downgraded to a 10. She doesn't have a hero point, does she?
Considering she just stayed up for almost 8 hours straight last night?
Yeah, that's fair.
That sounds pretty heroic to me, trying to, trying to keep Richard rested.
Maybe it's a complication where she kept fretting over me.
I don't know. Do you want me to have access to that complication in the future?
You've been doing it the whole time.
I know.
The whole time you made her roll a will save on running when Richard told her to run.
I know, but that's the thing. I could invoke a complication and that kind of thing, and I wouldn't have to roll in the future.
I mean, once again, Richard's complication is he might die for Taylor as well. I'd say it's fair game.
All right, I'll let her re-roll that with a hero point, and keeping that in mind for the future.
Oh boy.
I'm sure that's not going to bite anyone in the ass.
You are, well, at least that's a 33. However,
Yeah.
man, Mackenzie, you all just about making everything more difficult on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are the guy who would sign contracts with a demon.
Didn't even read them.
You don't even read it. No terms and conditions. You just like, whatever, sign me up.
Free iPad. I can sell that shit. Fuck yeah.
That's definitely going in the shorts.
That's what she said.
So, stop. Yes, I've got an 18 in stealth, and she has gone all the way up to a 33. Get it.
As two of you crouch low, begin moving forward very slowly, very carefully, you kind of point out the area where the car was hidden. As she nods, begins to move with you. there is a moment where her foot catches a loose rock, and one of these ghosts in a high visibility construction vest groans, turns around, manages to scamper behind an empty garbage can quickly enough, and just kind of groans, looks away. You can actually see a small white number on this tag as he begins to shuffle off this time.
What's the number?
It's a 17.
I see. As Richard gives a very panicked look once we're behind the garbage can, waiting for this thing to lose interest and leave before nodding for us to keep going towards the car. Definitely a little bit more careful now for the both of us.
And as the two of you are kind of waiting in a very, very low whisper, so that nothing besides the two of you can hear it, Taylor does lean over and, what do I do if they do spot me?
You ever roleplay before?
A long pause, and is this really the time we're going to bring that up?
No. As he bites his tongue for a moment, as tries almost raised his voice. No. It's kind of like charades and make believe. Last time I kind of bumped into one of these things, I got pulled over and I got ticketed for speeding.
There's a pause, and the cop comment?
Cop comment?
She pauses. So, what? I pretend I'm not in the middle of a zombified wasteland?
I mean, you were living it the past few years. It couldn't be that hard.
I was living in the middle of a bandit capital where they sold people for money.
I don't know which of these two is worse at that point. Let's try not to find out, but if we do get caught, just play along. I'll do my best to kind of cover it. And if that doesn't work, we run.
Okay. That's awesome. Just gotta pull memories from when I was like 8. Okay. She continues to sneak along with you. Can I get another stealth roll from you, Mackenzie?
No, the dice are mean to me and I'm scared. Oh, it's another 16. Actually, it's lower than what I rolled last time, technically.
It is, in fact. By 2.
Okay. Two of you begin to scamper away. There seems to be a sudden redoubling in Taylor's motivation, as she seems kind of terrified now at the prospect of having to lie her way out of a ghost interaction. And she is...
You can lie to a bandit, but can you lie to a zombie?
She
What?
is... She is silent like the wind and just in the shadows. And as you continue along, you're only maybe about 25 feet away from where you know you parked this car before your foot slips on a rusty metal pipe. There's a loud clanging sound, and a ghost in a suit, jacket only on one arm, the rest slouched off, face heavily decayed, and smelling like the absolute worst stench of the ocean, sees you and begins shambling towards you.
I usher for Taylor to just keep going and find the car, as I will give a very panicked look to her and then at the ghost and then stand up, trying to casually dust myself off before looking very warily at this ghost.
Can I get a deception check off of you?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Hello, Fade.
Oh, no.
How you doing?
Again.
That's got
It'd
that
be
will
the first
evoke
time.
it.
Although this feels like life and... No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, it's about to be. But I'm going to extra effort.
I can't even blame you on this one.
Affecting our... Dude, my dice have been so ass this game.
They really
are
have.
out for your blood, my dude.
I had a personal vendetta against you tonight.
You need to change. You need to change your colors and such right now, because
Okay, so it's a 16 at the very least.
my guy.
I'm
I
gonna
just-
die.
Rolled a 3. You rolled a 6 and then a okay.
My guy.
A zombie
Out of me.
moves up towards you. It narrows its eyes. Gives a low groan. It sniffs you for a second. Then turns. Looks over to this large metal sign and a concrete bench. The paint almost completely worn away, but you can just barely see the ghost letters of bus stop as he kind of grunts there and gives a vague wave to the metal sign.
Yeah, I just tripped on something, kind of trying to catch this bus here. Do you know when it's gonna be?
There's a shrug, exaggerated kind of lolling of the head that seems to suggest rolling the eyes, to which one does pop out of the eye socket and dangles by the nerve, where he gives a
Yeah, fair enough. Hell, I might just keep walking then. It might be faster if it's gonna be a while. Thanks anyways, though, as I give a light nod. My face, paler than pale, paler than the death pale that it already was before. Sweat drenching my shirt as I'll give a forced smile and a friendly wave and carry on the way into the bushes.
He goes, it starts to walk away. This started out with
He goes
John
so
going, Taylor should have a romantic road trip. Just like off to go get the car. He's gonna come back looking like he's on the fucking ICU.
I'm doing my best. Not run. I'm more doing a light jog until I'm out of line of sight.
Power
and then
walk.
fucking power walking until I find Taylor, passing Taylor, and just heading for the car.
She very quickly falls in behind you. You enter into this kind of shady alcove underneath the bridge, where there are parking spots and quite a few other cars parked. It takes you a few brief panic moments as you look around, and there's a moment you're terrified that maybe you forgot where you parked the car. As you look around, there's lots of cars here. There's no VW bug. Until you take a moment to remember how meticulously you and Tulsa hid this thing.
Yeah, right into the corner next by a tree, pulled down some like we covered this thing.
Yeah, as you take the branches away and move away this giant rock, which in reality is this gray blanket you threw over. Move this thing from pretty much invisibility. And as the sun kind of climbs a little higher, obscuring everything in very long shadows, the glorious VW bug is in front of you with... I need to remember this real quick. Hang on a second.
Reunited at last.
I don't even think Richard pauses to admire it. I think like the tarp is on the ground, the branches are cast aside, and he is just getting in the fucking VW and is just white knuckling the steering wheel, staring dead ahead and just waiting for Taylor. I hate ghosts so much. I hate that I have to roll a deception check. I'm not good at social skills.
Oh my gosh.
If Richard had it in him anymore, he would weep.
As this thing has 8 units of fuel in it currently.
And how much would be consumed flooring it back home?
It would
To the
be-
farm specifically.
It's 2 units of fuel per time block. It does not increase for travel. for upping your travel with stuff like redlining.
And how
So-
does redlining work if I'm in the vehicle? Do I still take negatives?
You still take negatives, yes.
Okay, I thought the thing was that it consumed more fuel potentially, but
It
never
does
mind.
not consume more fuel. It will give you negatives, and there's also a small chance you could break the vehicle.
Okay. With a small chance, I think I'm okay. I have driving skills. Yeah, no. As Richard waits, once again, gripping the steering wheel, and as there's a pause, he'll kind of lean in the car, glancing out the other window, waiting for Taylor to join him.
As she immediately slides into the passenger seat, kind of looks at you and, okay, I hate those things.
Ask
Yeah.
John about him sometime.
Yeah, John has some stories about that. Once she's in, I do up my seatbelt and just begin to drive. Slow at first as we try to leave this zone casually, and then once I no longer see this construction site in any way, motor kicks in as I fucking floor this little buggy as fast as it will go.
All right. Yeah. A great series of events as you hit the engine on, the headlights come on, you pull it back and out as they illuminate a large figure hanging out from behind you the whole
No!
time.
No, damn it!
And I think that's where we will end the session.
You
Why
son of a
He's so-
no. You are the worst.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
worst. For anyone who's only listening's edification. It's the damn acolyte again.
The thing that fucked me up at the beginning of this session. You're a terrible friend, Noah.
You're awful. I hate you.
I like to think so.
Ugh.
I don't want to run anymore. I want
This-
to go home. And when we get home, there's more trouble because Quebec stole Marie. I don't have
Them
my food
damn
anymore.
snow Frenchies.
I had to eat my girlfriend's food, and now neither of us have food anymore. And I'm driving and I'm tired.
I also ate a skunk, but that's like not related.
That's not related. Oh gosh.
Richard's gonna get back to the farm, pass out, and just cry.
That being said, as my players enjoy that small mental crisis in the background, thank you everyone for joining. Those few of you that may have popped in when we were streaming, or those of the future. Once again, I have been your DM and relentless torturer, and I have also enjoyed my role tonight. As a reminder, if you find any of this interesting or the characters, this takes place in a collected multiverse, of which the first entry, my horror book, is down below. So if this was at all interesting, maybe check it out. See if it might be something you're interested in. And Mackenzie?
I've been the player of Richard, the ever tortured and battered, the man at his breaking point as motherfucker. My fortitude and will, my will save is going to be at a -5, and my fortitude a -2. I am the artist who had done the overlay as well as all of our little icons here. Fuck, man. You want to tell us about
And Brian, I played John. I get to watch the train wreck just like you guys today. And I got to play
Such a nice
Farm
morning.
Simulator. Yeah, it was pretty great. Everybody's got a roof over their head.
Fucking John's
Oh, John.
overplay. Fucking John's playing Stardew Valley, and Richard's over here in Tarkov.
Accurate.
That said, thanks everyone here for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.
Not everybody.